getting his way, whether it be a player, whether it be coaches, whatever. I think that if there's anybody in the league that can make it happen, it is LeBron. And if he's not making it happen, I would go out on a limb and say he has his reasons for not making it happen. And I wonder if one of the reasons is, like a lot of executives in the NBA, is he maybe not buying what Carmelo's selling. Just a thought.
Yeah, and I think that is probably the case, and I think it's probably a strong possibility. Like you said, LeBron has the power to make that move happen. I really believe. Now, it's going to take some stuff with as far as checking ego on Melo's side. Maybe the money isn't going to be what he wants it to be, and like you said, you're going to have to come in on certain stipulations. But if he really wanted him on the Lakers, he could be. Look, Magic Johnson left the Lakers, and I know they're trying hard to make this thing seem like it's not that bad between him and Buss, and they're joking and stuff, but Magic rolls out because he doesn't like a lot of things that are going on with the Lakers and decisions are made. Magic rolls out without talking to LeBron and telling him what he's going to do. To me, that tells you some stuff is going on in LA as well.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, actually. That might be all you need to know right there is if that's happening, do you really want to even go to that franchise? Is that a good thing for Melo?
Well, I'm just saying to the point of, maybe people have decisions and say more than others, or maybe more decisions than certain people say. So maybe there's been some other things that have happened where maybe LeBron says, hey, I want this and this and this, and maybe Magic didn't necessarily agree with it, or maybe he felt like there were because I think he used something of there's too many hands in the pot or too many decisions being made, So maybe there is some other stuff going on, which I think we've all known this for a while around him, but, there probably is. So that would go back to the point of if he really wanted Melo in L.A., Melo could be there. So Royce is right about that, but I just think the whole way he kind of hit all that stuff, it was a whole lot of better ways he could have did it. He could have just rolled out there, long story short, and said, hey, look, Melo should be on the team. I would like to see Melo on the team, in the NBA, and I think everything would have been fine. But the personal shots he took and calling people out, I think he could have did that better. He could have handled that better.
Yeah, nah, for sure. You get an argument from me on that one. He's Patrick Waring. I'm Joe Cardozo, listening to the NBS Sports Hour, brought to you by Total Package Energy Shot. We are going to take a real quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little football. Keep it locked.
NFL season is right around the corner, and we're going all out this year at Nuts and Bolts Sports, hosting an NFL pick'em pool for all of you on PlayBallTo.com. Each week, we'll hand out prizes to the top finisher and the season winner. So all of you big-time gamblers, fantasy players, NFL junkies, sign up and join our PlayBallTo.com pick'em pool. Link is in our Twitter bio and on our site. Do not miss out on joining the action. Deadline is September 7th.
And welcome back to the NBS Sports Hour. Joe Cardozo and Patrick Waring here, talking all things sports. Now, Pat, of course, we know that the NFL preseason is going on this week. We have a big college football game on Saturday with Florida taking on Miami. But in the NFL, tradition says the preseason game number 3 is the best one for fans because, in traditional sense, with my air quotes, you play your starters a little bit into the third quarter just to get that feel and get ready for the regular season. And, of course, in the fourth game of the preseason for the NFL, it's everybody out there fighting for a job. So a lot of things going on here in the NFL. But rather than talk about some of the stuff that's going on the field, which is what we like to talk about, there's a lot of stuff going off the field. And let's start with the conversation. We're talking about the interview in GQ magazine with Baker Mayfield. And this touches home to me because as a person who has a sports blog, as a person who writes, who does podcasting, and you do the same, this is a conversation you and I have had a lot over the last couple of, not just months, but years. And that is people in the media they're doing it on purpose, forming stories as a form of clickbait to get attention to people And I think this Baker Mayfield story is a perfect example of that, where you had a guy ask a certain amount of questions about other players in the NFL. He answers those questions a certain way, but we cut, paste, edit it to make it seem like he's out there bashing a guy like Daniel Jones from the New York Giants. Just seems like, to me, certain media outlets made this story bigger than it really had to be, which is a sad state of journalism, in my opinion. What's your take on this whole Baker Mayfield situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely happened. I forgot who first initially put out the stuff that he said. He took the shots at the quarterback for the Giants or whatever, and said. But I think so the interview was supposed to come from GQ, so someone else got a hold of some quotes and put it out there. So for me, a lot of times whenever I see stories like that and stuff, I want to get it from, the actual publication or whoever he did the interview with. If you kind of want to see the full interview, maybe he did say the stuff like that. Maybe he did it. Maybe they just took the parts that they thought would get everybody's attention, to get everybody in an uproar. So, and, I'll at least hold off for a second until I see that. Now, Baker's said some stuff and done some stuff to give people reasons to not really care for him or to kind of criticize him before. So, I mean, I think he's done a job of doing that on his own. But in this particular situation, I would just like to see everything fully first. I think he came back on the defensive and said that, it was taken out of context, or he was misquoted, or he was, he did praise him and all that. So I think until that comes out, I'll kind of hold tight as far as Baker on that end. Now, he said some stuff not too long ago that he probably shouldn't have said. I mean, maybe he's trying to motivate himself, but he basically said what everybody says. They hating on us. They don't want us to win, blah, blah, blah. I mean, things like that can kind of rub people the wrong way at times. I just think for a Cleveland team that's definitely talented and definitely are looking in better shape than they've looked in quite some time, I just think when you get out there and you make statements and you get a lot of stuff in the press, sometimes you kind of put a bigger target on yourself. So now you're kind of raising the stakes for your team. So if you already have a team that definitely has some weapons, looking good, that could possibly be in a situation to make the playoffs, now instead of having people kind of root for you or kind of give you the benefit of the doubt, now people are going to they're waiting to take shots at you if you don't have a successful year just because of all the trash that you talk. So we'll see. We'll see how everything comes out with it. But I think people initially read it and they kind of just ran with it. So we'll find out, man. Either he said all this stuff and it looks bad, or everybody just kind of took the bait.
Yeah, I think it was a case of them just kind of copying and pasting and making this story bigger than it really had to be. But that's just my opinion on the situation. Sticking with Cleveland, man, is it just me, Pat, or is Odell Beckham Jr. seem like the guy that you were dating a girl for a long time, you guys break up, now you got a brand new girl, but whenever you have a free moment, you're talking about the ex, whether you're bashing the ex or whether you might even be saying things you miss about the ex, but that person's name is always on the tip of your tongue. Odell Beckham Jr. stayed with the New York Giants. The trade to Cleveland was personal. They thought I was going to come here and my career would die, but they were wrong. I mean, I'm just ready to see the guy healthy on the football field making plays. I'm excited about him teaming up with his boy Landry from LSU. Some of the coaching staff on Cleveland are from coaches he had at LSU. I'm excited about that part. Are you tired of the ex-girlfriend talk when it comes to Odell Beckham Jr., or do you think it's warranted?
I think it depends. I mean, I think eventually Odell's going to have to move on, right? You just, you got this thing in Cleveland, which you seem to like, for some of the same stuff we were just saying, there's some expectations, the team's looking in good shape. I think eventually you just want to focus on that, the task at hand. But he does seem to get caught up in saying comments. With this stuff about being buried in Cleveland, maybe Cleveland, maybe New York was thinking about that. I don't know how that started either, too, because it could be people out there that keep throwing this guy questions because they know he's going to react that way, which ultimately falls back on him because he needs to do a better job of kind of dodging it. So I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's more of Odell wanting to keep talk about this stuff, or if people just kind of keep throwing him the bait. He just keeps taking the bait. They just keep throwing him this stuff because they know they can get him to keep giving them quotes and stuff. So, who knows? Hopefully when the football season comes around and these guys start playing, hopefully we'll start hearing less about that and more about what's going on their team. But sure doesn't seem like it right now.
Yeah, I'm just let it go, man. You got a new girl. Enjoy the new girl. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. Before that girl breaks up with you, let it go. No one likes to be with somebody with their ex all the time, man. You gotta let that go. Now,
it's not just him though. Because I'll skim down some Twitter feeds too, and New York fans, every third word is Odell Beckham too. So, I think the fans have still got this thing with him. It kind of reminds me of another situation too in the NBA with Boston. Boston fans, they can't let this Kyrie thing go either. So, it's kind of the same way. Like if you seem like a lot of people are hurt and they keep making these comments and they're bringing up stuff that happened. Yeah, this thing is gone. He's gone too. But it seems like they just can't let it go. Sometimes I see that in New York. I see New York fans too. They're still holding on in these comments with Odell. So I think it kind of goes both ways a little bit.
Did you get that what's that movie? That cartoon movie, Frozen? Let it go, man. You get that on there. Put it, add it to your playlist, and let it go. It's over. It's a sport business we live in now. Guys get traded. Guys come and go. You can't take it personal. It's just business. I think it's time to move on. And like I said, if I was him, I'm enjoying Cleveland. I'm enjoying the opportunity I have ahead of me. Kind of let that news story die and end in the side. Of course, we still got some holdouts going on in the NFL. We got Melvin Gordon from the Chargers still holding out. We have Jadeveon Clowney still holding out. And we also have Ezekiel Elliott from Dallas Cowboys. Unless he gets signed before the time this show airs, which I doubt, he is still holding out. And, of course, Jerry Jones has never been one to shy away from a microphone. Made what he called a joke when somebody asked him about Ezekiel Elliott. He said, Zeke who? Of course, backlash from Zeke and his camp. We find that disrespectful, highly inappropriate. Jerry Jones came back again after signing one of his linebackers to a long-term contract. So now you have Dak Prescott, who needs to get locked up long-term. You have Amari Cooper, who needs to get locked up long-term. And you have Zeke Elliott. So, of course, at the press conference, he came back at it and was like, I've earned the right to make a joke about Zeke. And what I take from that, and then I want to hear your comments, of course, Pat, and how you feel on it. When he says the statement, I've earned the right to make that joke about Zeke, I think about all the off-the-field issues this guy has had and how many times Jerry Jones, love him or hate him, has stood behind the guy, had his back, meaning fighting to get the suspension reduced. And, yes, I know the long-term goal is Jerry Jones wants the best team on the field so he can line his pockets with money. I get it. I know that. But still, that's not something he has to do. How many owners have players get in trouble and they just stay silent? But whenever Zeke did something or allegedly did something, Jerry Jones was there to say, let's wait to get all the facts. Or he came out straight up and said, I don't believe that. I know the young man. I know the young man's character. The truth's going to come out. Whatever the case may be, to my memory, Jerry Jones has always had Ezekiel Elliott's back. So through all of that, whether it be the pulling the girl's top down, the incident in Vegas, whatever, through all that and having Ezekiel Elliott's back, and I'm thinking in the mind of Jerry Jones, if I was him, because he's always had his back through those situations, that's what's given him the right to make a joke about Ezekiel Elliott, which is why he said, I've earned the right. He's saying that all the investment he made in the past with this guy's career gives him the right to make a joke about him. That's the way I took it.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be that. It could be he feels like they have a better relationship than people think. Maybe they do have a close relationship, or maybe they have had one, up until this point. I think people also understand too, though, sometimes you gotta separate the business from the personal. So maybe Jerry feels like, for all the reasons that you just said, he has went to bat for him so many times and then he felt like they've always been cool. So maybe he felt like he was just kind of joking, or there's certain places that he can go with this that maybe someone else couldn't.